Hello everyone and welcome back to Comic Vantage on this glorious Halloween day. For today is October 31st, 2018. It's also New Comic Book Day. So this is the day that I pick out my comic books I want to read for the week. I give them a good read, I come back here, I tell you all about them. Lots of spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, back out now, come back later. Or if you do still want to watch the video, there are timestamps down in the description to let you know which issues you can skip and then go on to the next one, so that way you can just skip issues. All right, so first up this week, we have X-Men Black, Emma Frost, #1. Now, after that tragic outing that was the Chris Claremont story of Magneto that I horribly hated, I figured I'd give it another shot. Why? Because Chris Bachalo did the artwork. I love this man's artwork. I'm pretty sure it's an acquired taste, but I have loved it for years, ever since his Vertigo days. Amazing artist. Love this stuff. So, we start off here with Emma Frost, the White Queen, coming to the X-Men for help. And as you can see, they are meeting at a Walmart, or a Walmart. This is actually kind of funny in the beginning. Completely opposite of the Magneto story. Really enjoyed this just straight up from the start. Great banter back and forth between the White Queen and Rogue here. She's asking them for help because she feels that everything bad that has happened to mutants recently is all because of the Hellfire Club, and she knows how to stop them. So she wants a coordinated attack that are led by the X-Men against the remaining factions of the Hellfire Club, and she wants to take on Shaw herself. She wants to go after the Black King. She feels she needs to do this. Crazy. Just relentless in its action and its kind of brutality that she inflicts on people, and then eventually when she makes it to Shaw, just the torment that he starts putting her through. Now, we all know that Shaw is a huge sadist, and he starts talking about how he loves her diamond form and she's truly flawless, and he bought a diamond saw and he wants to chip little pieces out of her and he wonders what happens to her once she reverts back to human form. But then she actually lets him know that she's been planning this for months and she had help, and now his body is completely paralyzed, and she wonders how much kinetic energy it could absorb before it burst into a blood mist. Like I said, this story got brutal, and then the flip. She takes over leadership of the Hellfire Club and calls herself the Black King. Emma Frost, no longer the White Queen, straight up Black King. She thanks the X-Men for their help and goes about her business. This is actually a great story. Had a lot of fun with this. Huge thumbs up. I'm really glad I gave this another shot because, like I said, that Magneto story was just absolutely terrible. Thumbs up from me. And next up, from Black Mask this week, we have Sex, Death, Revolution. This book has been getting a lot of buzz the last couple days. It's supposed to be a really good read. Now, Black Mask has never let me down as far as stories go. They are consistently good. So, what do we have going on here? We have Esperanza here, who was a member of a witch's coven, apparently. And she, apparently the entire coven has sort of imploded. It was led by another witch named Annie. Annie supposedly lied to them, and they really don't touch upon it. Now, this is kind of a slow burn to start with. Now, Esperanza wants to remake her life and start her own coven. She wants to combine traditional magic with conceptual magic. They really throw a lot of information at you when you start reading this book, and you're trying to get it all square in your head. So it is a little confusing as far as the different types of magic: body magic, conceptual magic, traditional magic. Yeah, so I was about halfway through the book. I'm like, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Like I said, slow burn. But it does get better because as the time progresses, you have Esperanza here who's going through, and she is taking steps, like I said, to make changes. And every time a new sequence sort of pops up, they flash back in the past and they bounce forward. Everything changes just a little bit, and people start remembering her differently and how she treated people. And she goes from this sweet, nice woman to this, wow, over the top, crazy. And you're just trying to figure out what is happening. And you just don't know. because they don't tell you. But that's the really cool part, because they do leave it on this kind of big cliffhanger at the end where they sort of figure out that something weird is happening in the world and everything is being changed. So if we can just bounce forward here. And that's it. They just want to figure out what's going on. So it does look like it's going to get pretty good, but like I said, you really got to stick with it because it's kind of confusing and it could throw you off at any minute and you're just like, what? But like I said, it's worth it. I had fun after halfway through the book. So if it doesn't sound like your kind of thing, maybe wait until the trade comes out so you have a lot more story to read, which is probably the best bet for this book. Knowing Black Mass, it's probably only going to run 5 issues or so. So I enjoyed it. I'm going to stick with it. Pick up the next couple issues, see where it goes. If it's not your thing, grab a trade. It's probably going to be a good read down the line. And next up, from Marvel Comics, we have the Avengers Halloween Special. Lots of scary goodness going on. We got witches, we got ghosts, we have monsters. This book was so much fun. Oh, I love this little intro here. Hello, dear readers, and welcome. Here be monsters. 5 different stories. The Eyes Have It, The Thing from Another Time, Whatever Happened to the Richards Family, Punisher of the Opera, and Haunted Mansion. All of these were absolutely amazing stories. They were so much fun. So we start off with The Eyes Have It. And this is a story of Matt Murdock getting his vision back. He's actually having like an eyeball transplant to get vision. But things go horribly, horribly wrong. And he starts seeing ghosts and demons and weird monsters, and he starts killing his friends because, like in the first issue here, or the first page, he thinks Bullseye is going to kill Foggy, so he tries to stop him and he ends up killing Foggy himself. So much fun. This was so okay. I'm going to spoil every single story in this book, so like I said, if you don't want spoilers, make sure you back out. It turns out the Kingpin put hallucinogen in the tear ducts to emanate into his eyeballs, and he's coming for him. And here's Matt Murdock on the bathroom floor, gouged out his own eyeballs, and he can't see anything. And the Kingpin's coming for him. Absolutely amazing. The next story, the Richards family coming back from space with their newfound powers. And here is Dr. Doom. And Dr. Doom is like, what in the world is going on? This is not the Richards family. This is not how things are supposed to happen. Huge twist. It's like Dr. Doom is the good guy. And he finds out that there's been an entire alien invasion that have taken over the Richards family. And they are coming for Doom next. And he's the only one that knows about it. Crazy story. So much fun. The next story, Tony Stark trying to capture a biological weapon that has been released that his father created. Turns out it was Captain America. He's a biological experiment, and he is this crazy monster that is just going out and killing everything. Look at this. He puts his shield through Colossus's head. Gotta love that. Completely dismembers Deadpool and starts absorbing him. This is so crazy. So much fun. It has sort of a Frankenstein's monster kind of feel to it, because by the end, Tony Stark and Steve are just out in the snow, and they are just waiting there to freeze to death. Really, really cool story. Next one, Paris, 1881. I mean, this book here, you're really getting your money's worth because everything is so good. And this is the story of a famous opera singer who has all the accolades and the love of the audience, and she has a great family, and her understudy is jealous. So she comes and she kills her along with all of her children. The husband of this great opera singer ends up being the Punisher of the Opera. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Comes back for revenge. Next story. A bunch of kids out trick-or-treating and they come upon a scary, spooky house. Ends up being the Xavier School for the Gifted. And this is where they find monsters. But of course, we know this is the Danger Room. And then Wolverine shows up and saves the day. This book was absolutely so much fun. I think everyone should have picked this up today. I mean, just for the simple fact that it's Halloween, folks. Gotta love it. Huge, huge, huge thumbs up from me this week. And now, next up from Boom Studios, we have Bone Parish number 4. Number 4 here actually ends out the story. This is the end of this story arc. I love this cover here. It's kind of a Breaking Bad sort of feel to it. When last we left the Winters family, the family has been broken. One of the sons, Wade, is dead. He's been half-eaten by an alligator. Raphael here, who works for the drug cartel, pretty much got rid of them. They want to take over the operation. All this does is reinforces the family and leaves them very, very dangerous. So they have the sister make special batches of ash for what is coming. And what is coming is a huge black screen. Haha. Ooh, spooky, scary. So they pick up the police officer here who helped Raphael, and they torture him to try to get information out of him, but that wasn't good enough because he was going to, tell him anyway, but they killed him because the ash never lies. So much fun. This was a really, really good story. Now, my only drawback here is that it felt kind of rushed here at the end, and I don't know, I would have liked to have seen it run a few more issues, I think, to kind of, I don't know, we have the family, they're coming after Raphael, boom, he's dead. It's sort of, like I said, it was very abrupt, but I do love this. They blow a specialized formulation of the ash into his face, and it makes him feel like he's so many different people all at once. Huge, huge head trip for him. Drives him crazy. Eventually kills him. So she goes back and has a meeting with the rest of the cartel members, and she's like, hey, we're not giving up our family. We are a threat if you decide to come after us. And also it looks like they're keeping Raphael's ashes and the 2 police officers as insurance because they can use the ash to go through their minds and, relive all of what they know. So, like I said, it was a good read. I felt a little rushed in the last issue here. I do find this is kind of a trend on some of these miniseries where great story, and it's just, it lays out this whole groundwork, and then the last issue is always just, brah, here's the rest of it. I don't know. I'd like to see him go longer, but this was still a thumbs up. If you haven't read this yet, this is the last one. So I don't know if a 4-issue trade might come out on this you can pick up. If not, they are kind of easy to find, except for the first issue is a little on the hard side. But yeah, thumbs up. And next up from Valiant Comics this week, we have Faith Dreamside, number 2. Loving these stories. Valiant puts out some really good books. I love Faith. She's a great character, always so upbeat and optimistic. She's a lot of fun to read. So in the last issue, we had a young girl named Anomalia, that's her Psyot's name, who came to Faith for help. She is seeing ghosts, and she's hoping Faith can help her. Faith's like, well, there's nothing I can do, but I think I can find someone who can. And she comes and visits Dr. Mirage. Now, they start talking with her, and Anomalia is explaining that she sees these ghosts at night, and they're her friends that died, who were also Psyots, and they seem really angry that she is still alive, and Dr. Mirage is like, well, I don't know if I can help you or not. This sounds more like guilt than ghosts. But before you know it, we have all of these ghosts attacking this poor girl in her sleep. Wow, I mean, what is going on here? Really, really cool. So Faith tries to help using her force field, and this girl's soul ends up being ripped out of her body and drugged to the dead side, which, if you read Shadow Man, we know is the dead realm, where all the evil souls go. But Dr. Mirage is like, we can figure this out. We can travel there. And she puts together a little concoction to try to bring this young girl back. First issue was kind of on the meh side, but this one really kicked it up. It really laid down a lot of groundwork, great dialogue, great action, and it left me wanting to read issue 3. If you haven't picked this up yet, it is very easy to pick up. This is another one that's a huge thumbs up on my list. A lot of good books this week if you haven't noticed, but like I said, thumbs up. And on the list next is What If Magik Became the Sorcerer Supreme, number 1 from Marvel Comics. This book was really, really interesting. It starts off with Ileana, Magik, Ileana Rasputin, at the age of 15, coming back from limbo. She's escaped Belasco, and she ends up in Florida somewhere, I believe, and she's going through and she's attacking people and, you know, doling out her own form of punishment, where she is found by Doctor Strange, and he thinks she's some type of demon or possessed because she has the stink of hell all over her. And when he realizes she's just a young girl who's been in limbo this whole time, you know, his attitude changes. He feels bad for her. He wants to kind of take her in. He wants to give her a meal, and he wants to sit down. And he realizes she has an enormous amount of magical abilities about her. So he asks her if he can train her. And he wants her to be the Sorcerer Supreme. His whole thinking is that one day he wants to retire. So he needs someone who can take over the mantle. She reluctantly agrees. And her biggest thing is creation magic. She can't handle creation magic because she feels like she has this mental block where she's just been, you know, programmed by Belasco to just destroy everything. He does catch up with them. And there's this huge fight that ensues, and she kills him. And she feels really, really bad about it. Like, she thought she wanted to be good, and now she just killed something. And Doctor Strange is like, no, you have to let this out of you. You have to let it go. And she does, and she ends up becoming a really, really powerful wizard. Now, there really wasn't much else to this story. I thought it was going someplace a little different. You know, like, actually, what if, you know, she grew up and she was a sorcerer? And it didn't. It just showed how she became the Sorcerer Supreme. So it was a little different from what I was expecting. But still, it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. You know, if it's not your thing, though, I wouldn't bother with this one this week. It's an okay read. So, yeah. On the meh stack, I guess I'm saying. I feel kind of bad saying that, but, you know, it's true. And next up, from Aftershock Comics, we have Lost City Explorers, and this is number 5, and this also ends out this mini-series. So, what do we got here? We've been following the adventures of Homer and Hel. And Hel, I think that's short for Helena. They are following in the footsteps of their father. Their father discovered a portal to Atlantis. He was working for this weird company called the Sagan Corporation, which they've kind of been on the run from up until now. They thought these guys wanted to kill them, but apparently they don't, which is kind of odd, because it just gave you that whole feeling as you were going through. Hel jumps through the portal, ends up on the other side, and finds out Atlantis is real. Now, she does discover that her dad is also here. He is speaking with her, and he's like, I don't want you to find me. And he tells her that this is his life's work, and he belongs here. Now, she should just go back and get on with her life. He is fine. Which just kind of felt, I don't know, like a cop-out to me. Like, there was so much more that could have been done with this story. Now, we do have these guardians who are protecting the portal, and eventually they make it back. Homer jumps in, grabs her, takes her out. Yay, the whole world is fine. This giant creature, the protector of the portal, brings down the roof to try to cover the whole thing. And eventually, Hel goes to the Sagan Corporation, and she asks for a job. And she says she wants to follow in her father's footsteps. They tell her, hey, well, we're going to put together a new expedition. We found another portal to somewhere else. And she's like, well, let's get on it. Then let's go exploring. And it says the end for now. So, you know, it kind of, this is another one. It just rushed it at the end, and it was such a good story. And like I said, totally felt like a cop-out. Oh, you found me. This is my life's work. Now go back and be happy. I mean, it's just, why? Great story with a lackluster ending. That's really all I have to say about this one. But if you haven't read it, it is worth reading just to get it, you know, because it looks like there's going to be more of these guys. And I'd like to see that. I would like to see more. There's lots of possibilities this place can go. If you haven't found individual issues, I'm sure a trade's going to come out, so just give it some time. So, you know, I can't give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down because I did enjoy it as a whole. And the last book on our list this week, Injustice vs. Masters of the Universe number 4. This has been an absolutely fun read. I've been having a great time with this. But I'm a huge He-Man fan, and I've enjoyed all the He-Man series that DC has put out. This is a direct continuation from He-Man Thundercats. So I was kind of hoping to see the Thundercats show up, but they haven't yet. So we have the whole Resistance, who has recruited He-Man to defeat Superman. Because we all know one of Superman's weaknesses is magic, and He-Man is just straight up all magic. We have Skeletor in the background. He's working for Darkseid, and Darkseid is leading an attack against Eternia. He wants the great equation that's hidden within Castle Grayskull. And look at this absolutely amazing Freddie Williams artwork. This guy cranks out some amazing, amazing stuff. Like I said, He-Man Thundercats was beautiful. His Batman Ninja Turtles was amazing. His Darkseid is really cool and brooding. Love that. So back on Earth, we have He-Man trying to stop Superman. You know, the Brainiac-infused Superman who's leading the world and is all evil. Lots of action. Lots of great story going on here. It really kind of goes back and forth a lot, but it totally makes sense the whole time you're going through here. Now, Darkseid breaks through into Castle Grayskull. He finds the power. I guess there was a great wizard named He-Ro who created this grand equation and infused it directly into Castle Grayskull. Darkseid finds it, starts absorbing the power, and He-Man converts back into Prince Adam. So he starts losing his abilities, which is bad news for him. In walks Skeletor, and he's like, all I needed was the power of another wizard. And the wizard's name was Shazam. So now we have this Shazam-powered Skeletor who's going to take on Darkseid for the power of Grayskull. This is going to be really, really good. I'm having so much fun with this story. It is a blast. So this one is a huge, huge, huge thumbs up for me this week. All right, so our recap. We got He-Man versus, or Injustice versus Masters of the Universe. Big thumbs up from this week. Love this story. Then we have Lost City Explorers. Another good story. As a whole, it's really good. This one was kind of lackluster. What If Magik. This was, I mean, it was an okay story. If it's not your thing, just pass up on it. You're not going to miss anything special. Faith Dreamside #2. Fun read. Faith is a great character, and with her story actually being optioned now, everybody should be going back and catching up on this. Parish #4. This was another great story that ended really lackluster. I don't know what is going on with this, but like I said again, as a whole, I enjoyed it. Avengers Halloween Special. This one here is my pick of the week. Absolutely loved this. All the stories in it were so much fun. Great read. And then, Sex Death Revolution. This is one that's a slow burn, a little hard to read, but worth it once you get to the end. And last but not least, X-Men Black #1, Emma Frost. Now this one was really up there. This is probably my #2 story of the week. So this was really in competition with that Avengers Halloween story. Now, for my cover of the week, I was gonna go the Halloween special variant cover, because this is really, really cool. I love this. I love this Frankenstein Steve Rogers down here. Absolutely beautiful. But you know what? I think I'm going to go with this What If. This is a beautiful painted cover. Actually, I think it's digital paint, but man, I really, really like that. It's just totally has grown on me. It's gorgeous. So there you go, people. Those are my books for the week. These are my opinions. Your mileage may vary. Let me know what you grabbed this week. Leave me a comment down below. You let me know what you liked. If you read any of these, share your opinions on them as well. So, like always, to all my current subscribers, thank you so much. I love you guys. You are awesome. If you're new to the channel, hit that little CV down there in the corner and the bell icon up in the other corner. That subscribes you and gets you all my notifications. So anyway, I am off to do scaring of children for Halloween. And like always, guys, thank you for watching and take it easy.